Alabama and UAB in the bottom of the fifth, and a new pitcher on the hill for the Blazers.
Yeah, Thomas Ballard, Madisonville, Alabama. Look at the freshman. Opportunity to get in the game right here. 4-4 ball game.
5-1 record with a couple of saves. He is not just another arm. He is a good one for the Blazers. 3.54 ERA. He started a couple of games for them in his 28 innings of work so far. I see Dominic Temez to start the Alabama fifth. Again, the difference really in this game, the grand slam for the Blazers. And Temez strokes a single into left center to start things off nicely for the Tide. Had a thought of maybe trying to reach second as it was bobbled in center field by Bugs, but remembered he's a catcher and decided to stay right where he was.
Well, it's just a fastball outer third, perfectly swung on right there by Temez. See, he pulls up a little bit. If you go a little bit harder, because the way Bugs misplayed that a little bit, not far enough though, and like you said, he remembers, oh wait, I'm not that fast. McMillan's like, hey man, what are you trying to do?
Gary McMillan coaching first base tonight. He'll be on the hill Friday when the Tide plays host to Georgia for 3 games. We'll have that one for you on the network as well. Boy, he's been a good one in that starting role for the Tide.
He really has, and that's something you talk to him about. And it's like this has been his dream to pitch on Friday nights for the University of Alabama. He's a local kid from Hillcrest High School, went to junior college at Shelton State, and still stayed the course. And wanted to go to Alabama. Alabama gets him, and Coach Bo talked about it. Like 5 or 6 guys. Like I just don't know who I'm going to go with. He chooses McMillan, and McMillan has rewarded him.
William Hamiter ahead in the count, 2-0. Takes a strike right at the bell. I talked about the matchup with Georgia, and the series does get underway on Friday. And you see the numbers pretty balanced there. The ERA somewhat skewed for Georgia. They've had a couple of games get out of hand that will do damage to those pitching numbers that can't be fixed, frankly.
You're talking 23 this past weekend, 2 weeks ago, or no, it was this weekend, A&M, and then they had a 20-3 game against Mississippi State. But when you talk about Friday nights, and that guy right there, he's going to go up against one of the best pitchers, Jonathan Cannon, leading in SEC games only. He's leading the league, .86 ERA. I mean, this guy is going to come in there. Cannon's going to have scouts everywhere. So this is a position for Garrett McMillan. You get to shine in front of everybody. They're coming to watch him, but guess what? They're here to see him. They're going to get a chance to see me as well.
You give up 34 on the weekend in conference play.
It'll get you.
It'll do damage to the ERA. Here's Pinckney, who again had a 2-run hit. His last at bat was hit by a pitch back in the second. The run-producing single came in the third. And salivating for a chance right here. Probably asked to bunt, though, with runners at first and second, and that's exactly what he'll show, at least, on the first pitch as it misses high. Yet Brad Bohannon's known for taking that bunt off after the first pitch quite often.
Well, we saw it with Eblin, and Eblin didn't get the guys over. Alabama doesn't score that inning, so maybe this is a situation where, as you're getting later in the game, is going to keep it on.
The other part of that is you've got a guy who is a major threat to reach when he lays down a bunt. He runs well enough. It really puts pressure on the defense.
Well, and that's where you want to see a guy be a sacrifice first and then trust the fact that, hey, I'm a good bunter and I can run, and turn that into a hit. A lot of times you see guys try to drag bunt and they're just not ready. They don't get a good bunt down. Now 3-0, though, I don't know. 3-0, this is where, as coaches, I think sometimes, do you play games? You're like, hey, 3-0, thinking fastball. This guy's going to try to four-seam it and maybe let my guy swing away.
He's going to show bunt. He'll take the pitch for a strike. Pinckney's average for the year up to 296, and those 2 RBIs earlier gave him 17 for the year, and that's a good eye to take ball 4. So Bama gets the runners to second and third as they wanted, but the gift of a runner at first base, and that'll get Casey Dunn out of the Blazer dugout once again. This is a tough spot for UAB because not only have you got him loaded with no outs, you got a guy who's a pretty good contact hitter. I know he hasn't had a hit tonight, a pop out, a fly out for Eblin, but his speed makes him a major liability as well.
Well, I think the biggest thing too is I mentioned that he's a guy that he does a good job at situational hitting. 7 RBIs in his 7 opportunities with runner on third base, less than 2 outs. So he's a guy that's been in this situation before. 1,000%, he's getting it done. He's getting that runner in.
I thought this was just a timeout, not to talk strategy, but to chew a little bit if you're Casey Dunn, because he's got a pitcher in Ballard that he leans on. This is not a spot guy. This is an important part of his bullpen. And when they're trying to give you an out and you don't take advantage of it, that will get the coach out of the dugout. And we saw that from Casey Dunn there.
Those are things that absolutely eat coaches up when that guy is squaring around and he wants to just throw a four-seam fastball. But sometimes, Chris, that's the hardest thing to do.
That's a target that looks different. It's tougher to hit. He misses again, though, and Eblin gets ahead 1-0. Eblin again, a .299 season average with 14 RBIs. 2-0 now. Bama's got Temez at third. They've got Hameter at second and Pinckney at first. And Eblin in a great spot. 2-0 with nobody out. Infield at double play depth, but this ball is hit into the air. It's deep enough to score. Temez is settling under it will be Bugs. Tagging from second. Moving to third is Hameter, and Bama's going to have him on the corners, and they'll have a 5-4 lead on the sac fly from Ben Eblin. Third time he's had it in the air today, but that one with a little pop on it, Lance.
Yeah, deep enough, and again, not only deep enough to get Temez in, it gets Hameter in there. I thought it was a great job by Hameter, but Pinckney at first bluffed, and that has shortstop Golda. Look, oh, wait up, can you get that out? So then I think that was kind of like protection for William Hameter.
Do you steal right here at first with the speed that Pinckney has?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think you got a shot because you're probably thinking there's a chance breaking ball's coming early on. They were thinking different type of baseball. They were thinking safety squeeze possibly.
Yep, you got Rose, who does have a .278 average.
But see right there, Henry Hunter told his pitcher, come set, because he came set, didn't really pause. That's a easy balk. That's a guy in scoring position and a runner in.
Another off speed that misses low that time, and the count evens at 1-1. J.C. Sewell up and throwing now for the Blazers.
So a lot of times you see a guy go to bunt that first pitch, you thinking breaking ball probably is coming, so that might have been the one you wanted to take off on.
That one bounces away from Hunter, but not far enough for Pinckney to advance to second. 1 out, men on the corners for the Crimson Tide, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Caden Rose. Strikeout and a line out to right so far for him. Pops the bunt into the air, and fortunate that one gets back into the netting. It counts at 2-2. Infield can go back to double play depth right now. Not expecting a 2-strike bunt attempt. Through the heater by. Boy, that's a heck of a pitch on the part of Ballard. But now the top of the order rolling back. Nothing fancy about this one, was there, partner?
Now the old number 1, the high heater rising right there. Again, that's something, the hitters will chase up a lot if you make it a very competitive pitch. Around the belt, right at the numbers. It's when you get higher than that, that's when the hitters are just they know they can give up on that. But that pitch right around the numbers, it looks so hittable. And if you have any kind of velocity, you'll never be able to catch up to it.
Here's Jarvis, who's 0 for 3 tonight. He is due. He takes ball 1 high and away. Pinckney at first with Hameter at third. A run already in for Bama here in the 5th. And a 2-0 count to Jarvis. He's also a guy that can spray it to all fields, but he's shown a little pop in the bat as of late. 4 home runs for him after having none in the first 2+ years of his career. Fouling that one back to get the count to 2-1. What did he have, 2 this weekend in Knoxville? So. Didn't have many hits, but made the 2 that he did have count, literally. Big breaking ball that stayed up for Ballard. And now 3-1 the count. Bama's out hit UAB 8-3, but they've only got a 1-run advantage at 5-4. That was the number for our first matchup between these two teams, a game won by the Blazers.
Yeah, you're right. Jarvis went 3 for 13. Two of the hits were those home runs. There's only 2 runs scored, and that's not Alabama when they're going good. They need Jarvis on the base pass, creating a little havoc.
Runner from first goes. Pinckney will get the bag easily. Not a surprise that he would be successful, but is somewhat surprising. That's only his 3rd stolen base in 4 tries this year. Situation just hasn't worked out very often for him to have a straight steal situation. Payoff pitch now due to Jarvis, and he cannot connect, and that's a good job by Ballard to minimize the Alabama damage. But the Tide does indeed score another run on a couple of hits, and they've got the lead again, 5-4.